The numbers of companies that probably report strong numbers, they have remained elusive. So if you're looking at it, out of the 27, almost majority of it have reported inline set of numbers. The strongest are the weakest right now, and 6 companies have come out with a weak set of numbers. So that's the trend. And overall, over the past few quarters, what we've seen is that the number of strong companies have gone down, the number of weak companies have gone up, and the number of companies reporting inline set of numbers over the past 3 quarters has also gone up. So you're not getting any decisive mandate as such as far as the earnings is concerned. Most of them have come down, actually mellowed down their expectation. Now this is basically all the 27 companies that have come out with numbers. ICICI Bank certainly stands out as a strong number. The ADR was up, probably will react. You have Z Entertainment, which was a strong set of numbers. A lot of financials and the IT company in meeting estimates, and a lot of financial services coming out with a weak set of numbers. Asian Paint was a weak number if you exclude the volume growth. So that's the broad snapshot of which companies reported strong numbers or weak set of numbers. Now basically, if you're looking at the EPS estimates, the first quarter was 114.3. This was what the actual numbers was, and this was severely impacted by the SBI loss that came out. Now estimated, so on 1st July, the estimated number that was estimated for the quarter was 129.1. As on 10th October, why is this date important? Because this is where Z Entertainment came out with numbers. That was the first Nifty company came out. Expectations already came down to 124. And if you're looking at the EPS as of now for the 27 companies that have come out, it stands at 71. The EPS estimates for the same companies also stand close to 70. So it's an inline set of EPS number that has come out as of now.
So, Darshan, what about individual sectors then? How have they shaped up?
Yeah, so basically, let's start with some of the sectors. The first one is agri. UPL is the only agri company there, and pricing growth has been seen for the second quarter in a row. So that is doing well, gained market share in Latin America. So it was a decent set of numbers that's come in from UPL this time around. So no complaints there. On the consumer sector, HUL met estimates are pretty much point perfect to every estimate, even volume growth, even number wise, it was in line with whatever it is. ITC posted strong cigarette volume growth this time around, but the margins were something that disappointed. Even though Asian Paints posted strong volume growth, the financials were disappointing, and you could see it across the board for paint counters, be it a Berger Paint or a Kansai Paint or the other companies that came out. Paints as a sector financially has not done well despite strong volume growth. The other sector that we want to talk about is the media sector. Only Z is the only one there. Strong domestic advertising revenue, strong financials after 3 muted quarters. So Z this time around came out with a decent set of numbers. The other sector is the telecom sector. Now there are two companies here. We are excluding Jio because we'll take that in oil and gas. Bharti Infratel posted higher energy spreads this time around. The numbers were good this time around despite lower tenancy. Or if you're looking at compared to the estimate, the numbers were good, and Bharti Airtel suffered from higher cost and competition this time around. So Bharti Airtel was a disappointing set of numbers. The next one is basically the auto sector. Maruti had to offer discounts, so Maruti was a weak set of that way it was an inline set of numbers, but something that margins wise are not the best. Hero MotoCorp and Bajaj Auto also are engaged in pricing war, and that is something that has kept numbers muted for them. Weak monsoon, delayed festivities, all of them impacted expanded the financials of the auto sector. So that's the cue on the auto sector.
Yeah, and the fact that Maruti had to say that it might be difficult for them to meet the 10% guidance too. But Darshan, let's talk about the sectors that got impacted by the rupee weakness and the industrials. How did they shape up?
Yeah, so basically IT, among all the IT companies, all of them came out with an inline set of numbers except for Wipro. Among all the 4, the big ones, Tech Mahindra has not come out. So the 4 big ones that have come out, Wipro was the weakest financials. The guidance was maintained. So there's no surprise as such on the IT sector. That's why most of the IT stocks corrected post the financials that came out, because there was nothing new, no surprise that came in. Now, Dr. Reddy's is the first pharma company that come out. Strong set of numbers in the emerging market and India growth, but the big devil was in the detail. The US markets actually fell in 14% on a quarter-on-quarter basis. The commentary was not the best. So it was basically cost controls and the other factors that helped Dr. Reddy's post a strong set of numbers. But US weakness probably this is the lead indicator to what the other companies, Indian generics in the US will come out with. So that's the lead indicator that could be potentially weak. Oil and gas, we start off with the other companies this week, but Reliance was the big one. Petchem performance was strong. Refining margin was weak this time around. Reliance was an inline set of numbers. It fell in almost 5%. Jio, on the other hand, did well for them, but the ARPUs came down, but it was also in line with estimates. The other sectors that we want to talk about, cement, Ultratech EBITDA for ton was at a multi-quarter low of 739 per ton, and margin pressure was seen despite strong volume growth this time around. So that's the view on the cement sector. A few other sectors we want to talk about, and the last one is the financial sector. Strong numbers by ICICI Bank. The asset quality also improved. Bajaj Finance, the numbers were in line, but I think the counter rallied given the fact that the commentary was very strong in terms of what is happening. Kerala floods certainly impacting Bajaj Finserv, the insurance business not doing well. And finally, the two big disappointments that came out, Yes Bank and IndusInd Bank, and both of them numbers not the best, but what the devil in the detail was the IL&FS exposure. While provisions were made, but there is still no clarity in terms of how big this issue can balloon into. So Yes Bank and IndusInd Bank are something that you need to watch out because of the IL&FS exposure going ahead.